are joined by Michelle Simard, Senior Legal Counselor and Privacy Officer, and Charitarth Bharti, a lawyer and policy professional focusing on technology law. Thank you both for joining me today. It should be a very interesting discussion.
Hi, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Great, thank you so much. So, Michelle, perhaps I'll start with you. What does our privacy right entail in Canada? What does our right to privacy entail?
Well, it entails a lot of things. It really depends on what aspect of privacy. So given your context that you said in regards to medical stuff, I mean, our medical information can be given out if we choose to give it out freely. But then if we don't choose to give it out, then it should be protected. And it's protected in Ontario specifically by PHIPAA. That's the acronym for the Personal Health Information Privacy Act within Ontario. And within that act, it sets out who are the people, such as a health information custodian. In the privacy world, we just call them HICs, for that's the acronym. And then we have agents who are sometimes the administrative staff, for instance, in a doctor's office, the receptionist or the administrative assistant, who then processes your information, and they could be agents. And those people, so the HICs and also the agents, they all handle your medical information. And at the end of the day, if somebody comes in and asks for it, they can't have it because you have to either sign an authorization and direction to allow someone to have it. So we do have these prescribed mechanisms in place to protect everyone's privacy. The question is it being done correctly? Do we have a good enforcement model? We don't. And in the context of what you said, asking restaurants to do this, there needs to be some form of legislative act that will require that.
Right. And Charitarth, to me, this seems unprecedented. I don't recall a time when one has to divulge their medical status to access a place or even access basic services. I understand that children, when they enter school, are asked to produce a vaccine record, a record of vaccination. There's also conscientious objections, or those for conscious reasons or medical or religious reasons can opt out of that. But I don't recall this ever being the case. So I guess I would ask then, has something changed with privacy rights in Canada? Why now?
That's an interesting question, Tanya. Primarily, like the way we look at privacy is in the lens of a transaction between two people. Like if I want to have my data shared with somebody and in return I get a service, or it's basically being used to provide me a service and to improve the level of service. That's the transaction that you generally have with somebody. And that's generally outlined in a privacy policy that you usually have with that service provider. In this scenario, it goes beyond that, and there's an element of public law which intersects with this usually private transaction. The way this works in the sense is that there's public rights involved. So if you're in a restaurant, right, and if you have to be unmasked there, which you will have to be if you're eating in the restaurant, you'll end up impacting more than just yourself and your bodily rights. So that's primarily the idea that the governments are running with. But there is an inherent disconnect, which we are seeing. It's a trust issue. A lot of people don't see their rights being adequately protected within the legal regime that Canada currently provides. Mm-hmm. And not just Canada, several other countries.
Okay, I'm going to pause you right there. We've got to go to commercial, but we'll be right back.